Hi folks, Bodine52, hope you are well. Behind me there are two motorcycles that weigh between 825 to 925 pounds each, and we know it is dangerous out there. We also know that unfortunately accidents can sometimes happen. In today's video, I'm going to share an interview I did last night with Ty and Winnie from Tennessee on their very bad motorcycle accident. So there are going to be no ads, no fancy introductions, just the interview. Ty and Winnie, thank you for joining me to talk about your experience of what happened to you folks, I guess months and months ago. So thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us on here. It's nice to be able to get the message out.
Yeah, for sure. So, hey, I got to start off, most important thing. How are you guys doing, both of you, physically? You getting through some of the injuries and things that happened to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's this happened back in November of 2020, so we're pretty much fully recovered. We've been released by our physicians at this point, so we are doing well. I think both of us still have a few little aches and pains and things like that we're dealing with, but I think we are just about 100%. For me, we had different injuries, but I actually had 9 broken ribs and a broken collarbone from the accident. And Winnie, you're...
Yeah, so my leg, I don't know exactly what happened, but my left leg ended up being bruised from top to bottom and swelled up to twice the size of my other one. And I ended up having a sprain in my MCL. And because I couldn't walk for a couple weeks, I lost all the muscle in my left leg because of that. And so a lot of therapy. It'll take a while to get it all back, but nothing broken. So I was very thankful for that.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a lot of injuries to happen to, and to happen to both of you makes it really difficult, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a rough few months. The end of 2020, I mean, 2020 was rough for everybody, but it was a rough few months.
Yeah, you guys win. You guys win for the rough.
I don't know if that's something I wanted to win, but we'll take it.
So if you don't mind, walk us through the accident and just so we can share with everybody really what happened to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, November 14th of 2020, Winnie and I thought there was a place that was downtown Chattanooga, and they did like glass blowing where you could make ornaments and this type of thing. So we thought, what a little cool date activity for us to do to make something for family and friends. So we thought we would load up on the bike and took off that way. We were about maybe 10 minutes from home. I can remember stopping at the red light, saw the light turn from red to green, let out on the clutch, went out a little bit in the road. The next thing I remember, her recollection is a little different from mine, so we'll get her input in just a second. But the next thing I remember is laying in the middle of the road. My helmet was off, and I had a couple of people around me asking questions. I do remember looking up and seeing Winnie, kind of putting 2 and 2 together at that point that something had happened. But that is my immediate memory of what happened. Now she has more detail.
Yeah, so what I remember is we were sitting at the red light and we were making the comment it was never going to turn because we were the first in the line and motorcycles don't trigger the lights. And we saw the lights turn and he eased off the clutch and went out. And, we both swivel our head and look around, and I happened to look this way and I thought that car is not going to stop. And the next thing I remember is thinking, this is weird, what's going on? And I realized I was rolling across pavement. And then I came to a stop and looked up and he was laying in the middle of the road. And so that's kind of how that went. And then everybody around us got out of their cars and came to us to help us. And the police were there very quickly, and there happened to be a fire department real close that got there fairly quickly. And I just ran over to him, and knowing now my injuries, I have no idea how I jumped up and ran over to him, but I did. And everybody at the scene was very helpful.
Yeah. And I can remember hearing the sirens, knew that somebody was coming. And after I remember seeing her and I knew I was on the pavement, first thing that I thought of is, I wonder if I've got something broken or if I'm paralyzed. That was just my first thought. And I remember trying to move my hands and move my feet, and I could. And I remember thinking, this is okay. Winnie's okay. I'm going to be okay. And then I remember trying to take that first breath and inhale, and it was absolutely the most excruciating pain. I don't even know if I can put it in words. It was just absolutely horrific. At that point, I mean, your mind just goes a million miles an hour. And I thought, there's no telling what type of internal injuries I have, or if I've got a lung punctured. And I knew at that point, I was convinced I was going to die. I really was. I began to make my peace with God and ask Him to take care of Winnie and take care of my mom and take care of our dog and those type of things. And, talking about it now, it's so surreal being in that situation. And then I remember the EMTs and the ambulances pulling up, loading me onto one of those backboards. And, at the time I didn't know my injuries, but man, I'm telling you, that was probably some of the worst pain I've ever been in my life, them loading me up into the ambulance. I mean, I felt every bump in the road on the way there. So long story short on this part, they ended up sending me to 2 different hospitals. The first one we went to, they found out that I had the broken ribs and the broken collarbone, and they wanted to send me to Erlanger, which is downtown Chattanooga, because they had a trauma unit. So went off to the trauma unit. They got me in the ER super quick. And then I was there for 3 days before they released me to come home.
Wow. So for both of you, I can't even imagine what it'd be like laying on the ground, seeing your spouses, right? Your spouse, for both of you, right? So you were really turning left. Did somebody hit you on the left-hand side or the right hand?
Yeah, it was a car ran a red light. That's actually not my opinion. It's documented in the police report. And one of the things I wanted to mention is we were actually, I was filming for a video during this. So we actually have everything that I'm telling you on video, which is probably not going to be released just because of a decision that Winnie and I have made together on that. But yeah, it was all documented. He came in, ran the red light on the left side, and impacted us that way.
And he hit like close to your lower fairing, like
Yes.
6 inches back, and he would have hit his foot.
Yeah, any closer, I mean, within, like she said, within 6 inches, the car would have hit my leg. There's just no doubt about it. It was really close.
So scary, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it was absolutely terrifying. Yeah.
So
I mean,
scary.
I looked over and saw him laying in the road, and I didn't know if he was alive or not. That's the worst feeling in the entire world. Like I didn't know if he was alive or.
And I don't blame you for not releasing the video. I don't know if I could do that either. I appreciate you guys just getting on talking about it, because I'm sure that's, not something that you like to do either, right? And hopefully it helps somebody. So just glad there were people there to help you. Winnie, did you have any reaction time, or did you kind of turn your head and the car was there?
No, the last thing I thought was, he's just not going to stop. He was just barreling straight through it. And he wasn't there from the time we turned this way and I turned back to look, because I was actually holding a GoPro like this. Mm-hmm. And so I looked, and you can see me look on the video. And then, no, I didn't even get to yell at him to tell him he wasn't, because the next thing I remember, I was rolling.
And on the video, it all happens. I mean, it's just in a blink of an eye, it's over and done. It's so extremely violent. And because of, some requests from our attorney and requests from insurance companies, I had to sit through and watch that in slow motion to document some things. And Winnie and I, we watched that together at my desk, and we, cried, and held each other and sat with each other, but it is extremely violent, and it's just one of those things we've decided to keep to ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, motorcycle safety, we all know, is so important, and what people are doing around us just is crazy sometimes, and it's difficult to not only predict but at times to prevent, right? And we all know that we have a risk when we get on a motorcycle, and thank God you guys are here to talk about it. So again, thank you for that. So hey, tell me about, and it sounds like it was too violent, especially if you lost your helmet, but what kind did you have gear on? What kind of gear did you have? Did it help? Did it not matter in an incident like this? Or what's your thoughts there?
Go ahead.
We had absolutely no blood. I mean, that sounds gory, but we had no cuts. No, he had a little bit of road rash on his leg,
A little bit.
but his pants didn't tear. Like we both had gloves on and fully covered. I had a little scrape on my hand. But other than that,
Now I
no.
will say this, you know, like she mentioned, we had gloves on, we had our helmet. Off camera here, I've got this. So this is you guys might recognize this from my videos. This is my Ruroc helmet. So you can see an impact place right there, and then some areas right down here. But I don't know if you can get it on camera, but if I turn it, this helmet is covered with scrapes and bumps all over it. When I picked up the helmet, when I got it back, the visor was busted. But I will say this, there's scrapes all over the visor too. This helmet, I'm convinced, absolutely saved my life. So, you know, Ruroc, if you're looking for somebody to travel around and say how awesome you guys are, I'm your man. But in all seriousness, this helmet actually 100% saved my life. And one of the parts of the video, you can see Winnie and I both rolling down the pavement, and I'm sure that our heads were hitting every single time. So, yeah, our gear saved our life.
Absolutely.
No.
You know, I'm a firm believer that people can do what they want as far as wearing helmets, but I'm like you, I'm a full face helmet person, and swear by that. And this is an example of, you know, something that saved your life, right? It's not a game or a right thing. At the end of the day, it's about making sure that we're not doing an interview with just Winnie, right? So
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think if we hadn't had full face on, we'd have really had a lot more.
We'd have been busted up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the way they hit, mine was just like that. And if I hadn't had a full face on, I'm pretty sure I would have been busted up. So,
well, they say that chin area is really what hits usually on impact mostly, but boy, they're looking at your helmet. That's scary. For sure. So Ty, I know that you bought a new bike.
Yeah.
Right. So I got to ask, this is for Winnie. Winnie, are you good with that? And what's it like getting back on the horse, Ty? And you plan on riding again, or are you going to give it some time, which I would imagine, or just like to hear you guys' thoughts on what the go forward looks like.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm good with it because it makes him happy. We went back and forth a lot. Are we going to ride again? Are we not going to ride again? Are we, when he was going through everything, he was like, I can't do this again. I can't go through this again. I'm not riding again. And then as time goes by and you heal, and it's his therapy. He loves it. He loves his channel. He loves doing his videos, and he was kind of just lost not having that for 3 months. And so I struggle with it a lot. I still see him laying on the pavement quite, in my mind. But it just makes him happy. And I know he's safe, and I know as safe as he can be. We were safe that day too. I don't know that I'll ride. I haven't ridden yet. I'm not there yet. But it'll just be, time will tell.
If you get there, you get there. If not, you don't, right? So.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say is that, whether Winnie rides again this riding season next, or whether it never happens again, as far as I'm concerned with her, I completely support her decision in the way that she's supported mine. So either way is fine. I can travel on the bike and she can travel in the car, and that's just fine with me.
That makes for great video, by the way, Ty. Just for your channel, Ty from Tennessee, she can get some shots of you riding. That's good. That's good video, right, for YouTube?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you like being back on and having the helmet back on and rolling the video and kind of talking? And I know you've had a couple videos out, and I'll be linking your channel and all that stuff in the description for folks. But how's it feel to be back doing that?
Oh man, it's something else. That the first couple of rides that I took, I didn't have the mic hooked up and I wasn't recording. It was really just riding, getting reacclimated to being on two wheels, and I absolutely loved it. It's just like Winnie said, it's just therapy to me. And there was a time, right after the accident, that I was saying I just can't do it. I just can't ride. I just can't take the risk. But it's one of those things. I think it gets in your blood, and it's tough to see you moving on without that experience in your life. And I've missed motor vlogging probably just as much as I have riding and being in contact with everybody and sending out stickers and all those type of things that come with it. So it's been absolutely great to be back. And the motovlog community is just so tight knit. Everyone was just so welcoming, me back in, and I appreciate that so much from everybody.
Yeah, you may not know this, but when we heard of your accident, I mean, we are all a pretty tight community. Everybody's kind of messaging back and forth, letting everybody know you guys were hurt, and so it is a pretty cool community for sure, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first time he took the bike out, he said, "I'm just going to go in the neighborhood. I just want to make sure, I can do this." He got back. He had this biggest smile on his face. He's like, "I got this." He's like, "I've missed this so much." Like, it wasn't even a question if he was going to. I was like, "You probably should have thought about that before you bought the bike. Maybe you should have gone on a test drive." But he was like, "No, I got this."
Hey, what is your new bike, by the way? Because I am like major league jealous, but I'm not sure everybody knows what you have yet.
Yeah, I bought a 2021 Street Glide CVO. So it was one of those things that Winnie and we kind of went back and forth on, and she knows the type of things that I want on a bike and my expectations and my wish list. And the CVO just fit perfect with what I was wanting. And so I'm super happy with the bike, and I'm super happy with our local dealership that helped me get it. So it's just great being back, having a motorcycle, being on two wheels again, for sure.
That is awesome. And your channel is Ty from Tennessee, correct?
That is correct. You can also go to tyfromtn.com and it'll link you back to that YouTube page. So either way,
awesome. So, hey, just in closing, first of all, a big thanks again, but what advice do you have for somebody who went through this from not only a rider perspective, but a spouse perspective? What advice would you give them if something happened to them, even if it was falling off their bike at, when they were just pulling in somewhere, or a major accident like this? Any advice?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say a couple of things come to mind. Number one is to make sure that whatever insurance policy you have fits your needs. The insurance company that we use and the insurance policy that we had they were exceptionally wonderful to us. Winnie and I had a great support system with the company that we work for. They allowed us to take time off. So just those type of things to make sure your insurance is in line with what you and your family needs and your expectations. Another thing, we just talked about it. Oh my goodness, wear some type of gear. I mean, we're talking about a potential lifesaver, no doubt there. And then another thing I think of, if you are involved in some type of motorcycle accident and you need legal representation, contact an attorney as quickly as you can. Our attorney was great. He hung in there with us through the whole process. an awesome guy that really cared about us and cared about our case. So a combination of those three things hopefully will steer somebody in the right direction.
And for me, I panicked because they were like, what do you want us to do with the bike? I had no idea. Like, know what you want to do with the bike if you are in an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
I just called one of our friends and I was like, I don't know what to do. And we just happened to be, one of the members of our club owns a tow company, and he called him for me and came out and got it. Like all our stuff was in the bike. Like, I didn't know what I needed to get off, what I didn't. I was trying to get in the ambulance with him. So know who to call, because I didn't want just somebody coming and picking it up. That was his baby. And, I didn't want just the county coming picking it up or whatever and not know what to do. So that was big for me. Just have somebody that to call.
We get a little crazy about our motorcycles, don't we? Save the bike.
Yes. I was not going to be the one to be like, it's down in the county lockup and I don't know what to do. Like, you let who take my bike? No,
we may be going away on a stretcher, but how's my bike?
That's exactly right. And I knew that was going to be the question whenever he could figure it out.
It also sounds like advice is take your time on getting back or not. Don't put any pressure on yourself and just let it flow however it happens, right?
That's right. And don't let anybody put any pressure on you.
Exactly.
If you're not ready, don't get on the bike. Don't let anybody influence you one way or the other. You make your own choice in a situation like that.
That is awesome. Hey, Ty and Winnie, thank you tons for coming on, for sharing your story. And hey, if it helps one person that decides to wear that helmet or, whatever, or making sure that their gear is on or coming back from an injury, I'm sure even one person made it worth the half hour we spent together. So thank you very much for that. And I'll close out the video here and make sure that I share your channel so people can go check you out, because in addition to a horrific accident, you guys are both good people. You have a great channel and we'll want to send people your way for sure. So thank you again.
Thank you.
And have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.